Well, if you've been keeping up with your daily Bible readings, you may have noticed an interesting psalm this week, Psalm 88. Throughout the Psalter, there are many psalms of lament, and typically in these psalms, there's a movement. The psalm begins by expressing pain or worry or sorrow, but it moves into rejoicing and praise. It has a happy ending. But Psalm 88 isn't that way at all. Throughout the psalm, the writer uses the image of darkness and flood to describe the sorrow that he feels. He describes God as having placed him in the depths of the pit, in the regions of the dark deep, while the wrath of God washes over him wave after wave. And unlike the other psalms of lament, in Psalm 88, there is no happy ending. Instead, he writes, "I suffer your terrors. I am helpless. They surround me like a flood all day long, and darkness has become my only companion." And so we might ask, what are we supposed to learn from this psalm? And for me, I think the lesson is this: you are allowed to pray your pain. Sometimes our pain and sorrow pushes us away from God. We refuse to go to him in prayer because, like the psalmist, we're hurt and disappointed or even angry with him. Or sometimes we still go to God in prayer, but we mask our emotions. We pray mechanically, we pray inauthentically, and we never express the truth that's burdening our heart. Or if we do pray honestly, we feel like we have to make sure that our praise and thanksgiving outweighs our mourning and lament. But what Psalm 88 shows us is that not every prayer should have a happy ending. You are allowed to pray your pain completely and honestly and without forcing yourself into inauthentic praise. And that doesn't mean that every prayer should be this way. Psalm 88 is just one of 150, and Psalm 89 follows it with an amazing song of praise. But at times, the best thing you can do is just pray your pain. And when you do that, here's what can happen. God is able to take our words of deepest lament and turn it into delight. Right in the middle of Psalm 88, it reads, "Every day I call upon you, O Lord. I spread out my hands to you. Do you work wonders for the dead? Do the departed rise up to praise you? Is your steadfast love declared in the grave?" Now, for the psalmist, those questions may seem to have gone unanswered. But in Jesus, we know that the answer to all of them is yes. Because Jesus stepped into the darkness on our behalf, because the wrath of God washed over him on the cross, because he went down into the depths of the pit, we know that God does work wonders for the dead, that his steadfast love is declared from the grave, and that one day the departed will rise up from all our laments to give him praise. And so pray your pain. Pray Psalm 88 and know that God is turning even our deepest laments into greatest delight in him.